Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. How concerned are India's senior judges about allegations of corruption in the judiciary? And has the time come to change the way judges are appointed? Those are two of the key issues I shall raise today in an exclusive interview with the Chief Justice of India, K G Balakrishnan. Chief Justice Balakrishnan, let's start with corruption in the judiciary. One of your predecessors, Chief Justice Bharucha, has gone on record to say that 20% of India's judges are corrupt. And Transparency International has done a survey which shows that 63% of the Indian people perceive the judiciary as corrupt, whilst 47% have direct experience of bribing the judiciary. How deeply concerned are you by these facts?
I could say the percentage. The judiciary, the people perceive as a whole system consisting of the judges, the staff, members of the subordinate staff, members of the High Court staff, members of the Supreme Court staff, the advocates, advocates clerks, there's so many proud agents, all involved in the system. In that way, there may be some corruption. So I don't agree that so much percentage of corruption is among the judges who are sitting. And
let me ask you, what percentage of judges would you think are or could be corrupt?
You mean the judges of the superior courts?
Judges of the High Courts, judges of the Supreme Court.
Only a handful of judges, against handful of judges, there are allegations.
So is the public perception that judges are corrupt an exaggeration?
If they talk about the whole system, there may be some sort of corruption in the system. While filing, they must have go some mamul, we call it something, some such. For the people, they going to the court, one has to pay something. So all these, but judges as such, I don't think there is large-scale corruption among the sitting judges of the superior.
You're absolutely confident of that?
I am confident of that.
You have no doubt in your mind?
No doubt. I can perceive, I can tell you on the basis of the allegations or complaints that I received.
Okay. One of your illustrious predecessors, Chief Justice Verma, in a letter to the Prime Minister last April said that the mechanism for judicial accountability is inadequate. And in that letter he called for creating an effective mechanism to enforce judicial accountability at the higher level. Do you agree that you need a better mechanism to enforce judicial discipline?
I would welcome if there is a better mechanism for finding out the corrupt judges or to remove the corruption. Whatever novel things, I would certainly welcome.
The government has introduced a bill in Parliament to create what's called a National Judicial Council to provide powers short of impeachment to discipline errant judges. Do you welcome that?
The Judges Enquiry Act.
That's right. Do you welcome it?
I think there is no question of welcoming it. If the Parliament passes any enactment, any law passed by the Parliament, we are bound by that.
Except for the fact that if you as judges believe that the law is wrong, you can strike it down. So will you act to strike it down?
No, I can't say whether the act would be struck down or not. I can't say at this stage.
Let me put it like this. You are Chief Justice of India, and for the Indian people, you are the symbol of the Indian judiciary. Your opinion is very important to them. Because many people are concerned about allegations of corruption, they want to know, do you believe that the proposal made by the government, being considered by Parliament, is the right sort of proposal?
There are some allegations, so there should be a mechanism to find out whether anything could be done in this regard.
So this is a good mechanism?
It was actually, we have been following this as our in-house procedure.
And now it is being formalized?
It is formalized, that's all.
So you accept and welcome the formalization of what is an in-house procedure?
But we can't say now how it would work, because when the people, what type of complaints are likely to come, I can't
Quite right,
say
because
now.
The procedure is actually still going through Parliament.
Yes.
Let me discuss with you one or two proposals that have been made by fellow retired judges. For instance, the government envisages that the council should consist only of judges and be headed by the Chief Justice. In other words, judges themselves will judge judges. But the former Chief Justice of Delhi, Justice Rajinder Sachar, has gone on record to say that at least one lay person should be involved. Should non-judges be involved in disciplining judges?
It's a question of independence of the judiciary. If any other person conducts such inquiry about any judge, it will cause serious inroad into the independence of the judiciary.
So you are against this?
It will affect the, I personally believe that it would, if anybody else inquire into the allegations against the judges and they impose punishment or suggest punishment or all, I don't think that any self-respecting judge would admit it.
All right. A second issue. The government has kept the Chief Justice of India outside the purview of the National Judicial Council. But former Chief Justice Verma has gone on record to say that the Chief Justice should be covered by the Council. What's your answer?
Personally, I don't mind, I am the Chief Justice, I don't mind my accountability being examined, my actions be scrutinized by any committee consisting of judges, senior judges of the Supreme Court. I have absolutely no objection.
You began...
But I say that the Chief Justice of India, if somebody else outside the world, outside India would think that the whole our Chief Justice of India is exposed to such sort of inquiry and all. The Chief Justice is not above law. He is still, there are provisions, impeachment, all other provisions are still there.
But what you're saying is don't denigrate the office of the Chief Justice by making it subject to the Council.
That is why the Prime Minister, Chief Justice of India, all these, they are very, very skeptical.
So in other words, although personally you have no problem with people investigating you as an individual, you think the office of Chief Justice should be kept outside the purview of the Judicial Council?
If it would improve, keep the image of this, our Indian judicial system.
One third issue. The government has set certain limitations. They're saying that judges who've demitted office, no complaints should be entertained against them. And secondly, they say no complaint should be entertained that is more than 6 months old. Do you accept that limitation, or do you think it's unjustified?
Judges, retired judges, he doesn't have any immunity. Anybody could file any complaint or anything. He is subjected to the ordinary law.
So there's no need to bring him under the Judicial Council?
Well, if the retired judges are also to be, how many complaints are there? These are the jobs for the sitting judges.
What about the time limit of just 6 months? Many people say that it often takes 6 months to find out that something has gone wrong. If you can't make a complaint because it's more than 6 months old, then many areas will be excluded for technical reasons.
Normally the complaint is filed immediately after somebody loses the case. It happens, he knows, then 6 months is a fairly good period.
So you have no problem with that?
Huh?
You have no problem with that?
Otherwise it will be all stale matters, something happened. Usually these sort of complaints, some judges absolutely no complaints, then he was likely to be elevated, likely to become chief justice, and all sorts of complaints come.
Two quick issues. If the National Judicial Council comes into being, you as Chief Justice will get enormous powers of investigation to probe into allegations. Will you use those powers to probe diligently into allegations against fellow judges, or will you be constrained by the fact that they are brother judges and that it's embarrassing?
No. I will diligently inquire into all matters, but I don't expect a large number of complaints. Even now so many complaints are filed, they are all, most of them are some malice against some judges, no serious corruption judges are
But if there is an allegation, will you probe it diligently?
Certainly.
You won't be worried by the fact that you could embarrass yourself because he's a fellow judge who sits in the Supreme Court with you. That won't concern you.
Certainly, I have to discharge my constitutional obligations.
And you'll do it fearlessly and diligently.
Yes, of course, I take an oath for that.
One last question before I take a break. Many people believe that judges should make an annual compulsory declaration of wealth and assets. Do you agree?
Sitting judges?
Yes.
Or then when they become judges?
When they become judges.
When they become judges, most of the judges, majority of judges, they are recruited from the bar. They are practicing lawyers. They must have so many investment, commercial activities. And if you are very strict, now there is voluntary. A judge, when he accepts appointment, he is asked to give a voluntary statement. He gives.
What about a compulsory one?
Compulsory one is, I don't disagree with that. Only problem is that if this compulsory one has to give compulsory this statement and all, no self-respective person would accept. This is a post which is not recruited or the appointed. We search people, good people, and these are sought after.
Okay. What you're saying is that it would have a deleterious effect on people wanting to become judges.
Judges. That is the problem. Then it becomes compulsory. It should be persuasive and should be voluntary.
Let's take a break at that point. Chief Justice Balakrishnan, I want after the break to ask you whether the time has come to change the way judges themselves are appointed. We'll be back in a moment's time. See you after the break. Welcome back to an exclusive interview with the Chief Justice of India, K G Balakrishnan. Chief Justice Balakrishnan, most people say that the quality and image of judges depends critically upon the type of person appointed a judge. At the same time, sadly, people say that the collegium system of appointing judges isn't working. Last December, your predecessor, Chief Justice Sabharwal, received a letter from Chief Justice Verma, and copies of that letter were sent to you as well, pointing out that the recommendations made by the collegium are not objective. This is a matter of serious concern which needs to be addressed immediately. Do you agree with Chief Justice Verma?
Recommendations are made by the Chief Justices of the various high courts with consultation with his senior colleagues. There may be some candidates, we say that he was not the right person, somebody else should have been there and all this. And we can say that I can't say it is not objective. It is, I feel, it is one of the very, very important duty of the Chief Justice, who is a senior judge. It is his duty to see and select the best persons for the judgeship.
Are the best persons getting selected? That's the question.
If the best persons are not selected, it is the fault of the concerned Chief Justice. But even then, the Chief Justice, he is not a final one that the Chief Justice is doing. We get the details of the judges, biodata.
Let me interrupt you, sir, and put it like this. There is widespread concern in the press, in the lay public, and particularly there is widespread concern amongst your predecessor former Chief Justices that, for instance, Justice V.K. Jain was unjustifiably promoted to Chief Justiceship of the Punjab and Haryana High Court. Has the wrong man been chosen in that instance?
I'm also involved in that. I don't want to say any comment on anybody.
But are you satisfied that the right man has been appointed?
The sitting judge of the court, I don't want to make any comment.
No, but what I'm asking you, are you satisfied that the right man has been appointed?
Which?
Is V.K. Jain fitting to be a Chief Justice?
I could say I have recommended his name. I have also party to that. So
there are stories that 3 judges dissented, and even when the President asked for reconsideration, the collegium insisted, but there was no unanimity. Are those stories inaccurate?
They are not fully correct.
Not fully correct?
Not fully correct.
They could be partially correct?
Yes, yes. They
could be partially correct.
I don't want to divulge these details because these are confidential matters. It is not proper for me to divulge these matters.
I understand. I don't want to embarrass you, but you are indicating that some of the stories that suggest that the appointment may not have been satisfactory may be correct.
Satisfactory, is felt by somebody. These are all anything, any views could be there.
Let me put it like this. As you know, Chief Justice Verma was the judge who presided over the second judge's case, which created the collegium system.
Yes.
Today, the same man is saying that the collegium system of appointment is not working. Should you not listen to his views very carefully?
The judgment is delivered for generations to come. Not that it is felt after some months or some years it is not correct. What can I comment on that?
So, do you think there is need to change the way judges are appointed?
Of course, if any better mechanism or improved mechanism is there, we should welcome that. I am not against any change in the system or improved method of recruiting judges. I am not against that.
You're not against it?
I am not against it.
So you have an open mind about ideas like the National Judicial Commission, which both Chief Justice Verma and former Chief Justice Rajinder Sachar have been talking about and writing about. You have an open mind?
I have got open mind about anything which may improve our system.
Very quickly, should non-judges be involved in appointing judges? Should politicians be involved in determining who becomes a judge?
Politicians earlier they were also had a say in the matter.
But not since '92. Should they now have a say again?
Even now there is. The recommendation goes to the government.
Quite right, but when the government asks for reconsideration, quite often the collegium refuses. So now I'm saying, should the Prime Minister, should the Law Minister be involved in the process of recommending the name?
They are involved in the process. Prime Minister, Law Minister, all involved in the process. We send the names to them.
But only if you want, do you withdraw them. If you refuse to withdraw them, then the government has to accept.
Yes, it
Quite
is.
right. So now I'm saying, should the system be changed to give the politicians a bigger say?
There are instances where the names recommended by the collegium was not accepted and the appointments were not made. There are instances.
So you're saying that despite the public perception that the political involvement is minimal, this is wrong?
Public is not fully aware of many things because these are all done by internal correspondence between high constitutional authorities.
Two quick questions. After 57 years of functioning, the Supreme Court has only had 4 Dalit judges.
I don't want to comment.
Do you think you need reservations in the system to give greater representation?
I can't say anything about reservation because they are all matters which some form or other which come to the court. So
what about the fact that the Supreme Court in 57 years has only had 3 women judges and today there are none? Is that satisfactory?
House of Lords took more than 100 years to have a lady lord.
So you've got 100 years on your side to get more lady lords, huh?
We got, within 57 years we got three lady judges.
So you're basically by and large happy with the way judges are chosen, although you're prepared to accept a better system if someone can prove to you it's better.
Yes. If any better system is the country needs, we should have the best judges, the best talented judges for this country.
But till a better system comes and is proven to exist, you're happy with the present system?
That is the only system which is open before me. So,
Chief Justice Balakrishnan, let's end this particular interview there. Tomorrow I want to talk to you about the power of judicial review. Is it an unfettered right of the Supreme Court, or do you accept that there are limitations? We'll be back tomorrow with the second part of this exclusive interview with the Chief Justice of India, K G Balakrishnan. In the meantime, if you have been, thanks for watching. Goodbye. Good night.